Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And this is not the video I thought we would be making today. Apparently there is a Mickey Mouse versus Winnie the Pooh horror movie. So let's jump right into it. Ever since the Steamboat Willie character went into public domain, we've been getting these movies with horror versions of the character. And it's not a surprise. We have like 3 that are scheduled to be out. I haven't heard when their release date is, or if they have come out on streaming. I've missed them because there's really been no promotion for them since their announcement and everything. But it's not the end of it all, because this is a trend that is going to be continuing. It started with the Winnie the Pooh situation, where they built an entire universe around Winnie the Pooh and public domain characters, turning them into complete horror versions of themselves. So it doesn't come as a surprise that when you have these 2 characters as public domain characters, that someone somewhere was going to have the wonderful idea to give us this. A Mickey Mouse Winnie the Pooh horror movie in which the 2 of them fight. That's right, it's Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse fighting. So it's called Mickey versus Winnie. That's its working title. And it only gets stranger from there, because who do they pick to direct this? Well, apparently they have picked an Emmy-nominated person to direct this. Only before you get too excited, the Emmy nomination is for choreography. The person in question is Glenn Douglas Packard, who got an Emmy nomination for his choreography on the late King of Pop Michael Jackson's 30th anniversary special. Now, you might be thinking, why him? Well, you're not alone. But if this movie's good, and I don't know what his involvement in it is beyond being the director, maybe he also wrote it. I haven't heard too much about this. Just news dropped today that this existed, and we're going to tell you what the plot is. So this is the plot of this movie. In the 1920s, 2 escaped convicts escape into a forest, a cursed forest, where they are kind of never seen again. Only then we jump to present day and we find out what happened to them, because they are apparently now mutated into these horror characters that are based on old childhood characters. They're mutated into Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh. And how do we find this out? Well, in present day, there's a group of teenagers that needed an Airbnb. And what you know, what the Airbnb that they are using is in this cursed forest. So now the movie is kind of set up. Only at some point, these 2 characters aren't going to be friends anymore. They're going to somehow decide they don't want to be friends and end up fighting each other. And that's kind of the way those movies go. We saw it with Freddy versus Jason. We saw it with every Universal Monsters movie. There's always that point in the movie where the 2 iconic characters will fight each other. So this doesn't come as a surprise. This movie could be pretty good, and this movie could be absolute garbage. But the thing of it is, I'm actually kind of excited to see what they do with it. Now, beyond that plot, we don't have too much information, but the poster looks cool. This is the poster for the movie. And you can see in the poster that Winnie the Pooh looks very Five Nights at Freddy-ish. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. What is all this stuff around his face? And Mickey Mouse. I think Mickey Mouse looks like something straight out of a creepypasta, but that's just me. And I think that the 2 of these characters, if done right in this scenario, could be really cool. It's probably going to be a really low budget movie though. Just being real, this is going to have a shoestring budget. But how much of a shoestring budget? Because we saw the success of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and how that kind of impacted the sequel and how it's starting to look better and better. So with them getting this type of thing to sell to the public and getting the public behind it, we could be seeing more CGI given to small little independent projects like this, and that wouldn't be a bad thing. But the poster looks cool. The girls run through the forest, and there's all this red in the poster, and I'm kind of there for it. Red is a scary, scary thing used as a plot device in movies a lot of times. And in posters, for horror posters, some of the most fun posters are the ones that you don't get a lot of information from. This one you don't get a lot of information from, but what you do get looks kind of different. It looks kind of odd. And if this forest is cursed and has turned them into these creatures, what exactly was this curse to begin with? Is there any way that this curse can be broken? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb and say probably not, because they're gonna want to do a sequel. And oh yes, you can count on it. If this movie does well, this is exactly the type of movie that's gonna get a sequel. And the sequel may be one of those that people look forward to if this movie succeeds. When you get this whole scenario of horror movies becoming these public domain characters that we loved as children, I've said it before, it's kind of intriguing, but where does it end? And then you get something like this. And this one legitimately sort of excites me. I can see the merits in something like this, only if it were up to me, and of course it isn't, it would be the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey universe, and maybe some successful Mickey Mouse horror movie, if we get a successful one, and sort of blend those together. But then, who's to say they don't do that anyway? The thing of it is, when you're dealing with these types of movies and these types of scenarios and things are in public domain, then you can do whatever you want to them. And the second you can do whatever you want to them, people are going to do whatever they want. And I'm just waiting for the Superman horror movie in a few years, and maybe even the Batman one, and all of that. Let's get some of these characters in the public domain and let people see what they can come up with. Because at the end of the day, it's not hurting anybody to have these characters enter the public domain and turn into these parodies or these outright horrific versions of the characters that we love. I don't see anything wrong with this. If it's done cool, it's done cool. But I do think that this trend is going to go spiraling down a lot quicker than anyone thinks it is. Because I think this is a craze that only lasts for so long. But then again, it has been something that has been done over and over throughout the history of film. So when you look at it that way, could there be a future for these characters to become iconic horror monsters? Anything's possible, right? But that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. Are you excited about this movie? Do you think that this has any sort of potential to be good? Is it going to be just worth a few laughs? Do you think it's going to have a shoestring budget? Or do you think with the success of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, that this could actually get a budget that would make it legitimately something to be afraid of? As always, we want to know what you guys think. Make sure you leave us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this weird conversation as well. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel. We appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers. You don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And friends, at the end of the day, I know, you know, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.